At about the age of 12 to 13, when she was going into puberty, I guess, that's when we noticed that she had a problem with some bleeding. She had a number of nosebleeds that were pretty significant, and we noticed that she had some bruises on her legs and her arms. But she was an athletic girl like her older sister was, and we thought, that was just because of maybe falling down and, just hurting herself through sports. Uh, but then, like I said, the bleeding continued, and so we went to a doctor to find out about it, and we were very, very fortunate that they were able to uh, diagnose lupus right off the bat. The initial problem with the bleeding was a condition called ITP, which is a very, very long uh, medical term. But what was happening was that her spleen was killing off her platelets, and it didn't recognize them as of being of any benefit. And so what had to happen at that point, we had to have her spleen removed because her platelet level was down to like 4,000 and the normal level is 250,000. So she could have died at this early age if we didn't catch it at that time. So we had her spleen removed to save her life. She really wanted to be a mom. And they bought a big house. Uh, they bought a house that actually had 5 bedrooms in it, and she was hoping to fill that house. And I guess she was going against medical recommendations, but she did get pregnant, and she was just so happy. And but it was a high risk pregnancy. Little Mikey was born, and it was just such a joy. I mean, it made her so, so happy, and it made us so happy. And Mike came out crying, saying, "It's a little boy." And so uh, it was just a wonderful day, and Cassie was just a trooper. She had been home only a couple days, and she didn't feel right, and they had to rush her back. We rushed her back to the hospital, and she had heart failure. And she was able to get through this. She had to get on all this extra medication, um, but somehow she got through that. She worked for a company out of Tiffin, Ohio, which is on the western part of the state. She had to go back to their home office for one of their quarterly meetings or so. And when she was out there, she left in the morning. Everything was fine. She spoke to Mike, her husband, at noon somehow, and again, everything seemed to be fine. And later on that afternoon, when she was out there, she just got progressively weaker and sicker. And she was staying at a Holiday Inn out there, and the people that she was working with felt that she should go to the hospital. So we get into the car, and it just knocked us off our feet because that day she had been just fine. And so we drove up to Toledo, and we got into the emergency room. And as soon as we walked in the door, we were met by this woman who identified herself as a chaplain. And, I figure, why are you here? I didn't want to hear that. I just wanted to think it was just an emergency that we could get through, like we've gotten through other emergencies throughout the years. What eventually was diagnosed was that she had picked up bacterial meningitis. And we had her in intensive care there for the next day or so, but it was a period of about 32 hours from the time that she started to get sick until she passed away. And I told you earlier that how her spleen, or removing of the spleen earlier had saved her life. And now, at this point in life, when she needed a spleen to fight the infection, she had none. And, you know, if you or I had picked up this infection, we would have probably survived it, but she couldn't because of that. If I could have my Kassie back, I would, you know, every day would be so special, you know? And so if anybody has lupus, you know, I would say parents, hug your children, you know, love them. Don't let a day go by without saying, I love you.